No animals or humans were harmed during the following preview. Not even the fake ones. Honest.
Are you going to the prom?
I don't. Yeah, I think proms
Because
are
I thought maybe we could go together.
Oh, you're gonna go with like a bunch of people, or? Yeah, you want like a designated driver, right?
No. I mean, you and me. We could go together.
Why do birds suddenly appear?
When I was 16 years old, I fell in love.
Oh, no, I wasn't.
Oh, we got a bleeder! Are you okay, Ted?
It was definitely love. Not Mary again. I mean, crushes don't last for 13 years, right?
He couldn't help it.
Hi, it's Ted.
I haven't seen you since
Senior prom.
How's everything?
Oh, that's fine. Strong like glue.
And he couldn't explain it.
You asked me to follow around your girl, and I did. And then the truth is, I started to like her.
Because there's something about Mary.
She's still a fox. Mary's a fox. She's a fox.
I want a guy who can play 36 holes and still have enough energy to take me and my brother to a ball game.
Just a little bit of history repeating.
Too bad you don't live here, Ted.
20th Century Fox presents.
How many is this? Four. Seems like an awful lot to give one little pooch.
He doesn't like anybody. He never usually likes guys.
A new comedy.
Come on, boy.
From the Fairley Brothers, directors of Dumb and Dumber and Kingpin.
Would you like a little clam dip, doll?
Whatever.
Cameron Diaz, Matt Dillon, Ben Stiller. There's something about Mary.
Are you the little guy making all that big noise? Huh?
His friends would say, stop whining, they've had enough of that. His friends would say, stop pining, there's other girls to look at. They've tried to set him up with Tiffany and Indigo, but there's something about Mary that they don't know. Mary, there's just something about Mary.
Look, the most honest moment in a podcaster's life are the few minutes after he's blown his load. Now, that is a medical fact. And the reason for it is that he's no longer trying to get laid. He's just worried about recording that next podcast episode. And let me just say, I'm totally focused and ready to go on this podcast because today we are focusing on a gem from 1998, the Fairley Brothers comedy classic, There's Something About Mary. But I'm not here alone. No. First up is a co-host. When I'm looking for a co-host, I'm looking for someone who could play 36 holes of golf with, still have enough energy to go to a baseball game and eat hot dogs. I'm talking sausage, hot dogs, and beer. Not light beer, but beer. And that man is joining me right now, Mr. Christopher Mars. How are you doing this evening, and what are you drinking?
Doing well, Michael. I am drinking a Captain's Daughter, straight from Rhode Island, where Ted and Mary are from. What are you drinking, by the way, Mikey?
I'm drinking a Mike's Hard Lemonade Zero Sugar because it was in my refrigerator. Is there anyone named Mike in the movie? I can't think of it. I was trying to get tie it into the movie, but
yeah,
I couldn't do it.
Good enough. You're drinking at least.
Next up isn't someone, a man who I thought was live at an airport making his own hair gel, but he is not here. He literally is in Las Vegas in meetings, and he forgot that there's a time zone difference. He just texted us, said, I'll be there by 7:45. He texted me at 7:50, dickhead. He's not here, but
he's in a meeting.
He is in a meeting, God willing, what that meeting is about.
We added a foot and a half.
Yes. Our height average just jumped through the roof because we are not here alone. Tonight, we have a man who is the first ever guest on this show and the tallest guest we ever had. This man now makes Paul the only brother of our host who hasn't been on the show, my big brother, Shaun. Hi, brother.
How's it going?
How are you doing? And what are you drinking?
I'm doing good. I'm drinking a good old Allagash White out of Maine. One of my go-tos.
See, you guys all have like fancy drinks, and it's either the Jack and Coke.
Allagash is fancy.
It's fancier than
not super fancy.
Mike's Hard Lemonade.
At least you're drinking. At least you're drinking, and at least you're here, and at least you know the time.
You know what time zone you're in. Yeah.
What time of day it is.
Now,
so I'm glad. This is great.
Yeah.
There's something about.
But I'm excited.
Here's the thing. Yeah, I'm excited too. And you know who else was really excited?
Guest. Yep.
Dave. Dave was excited. He was excited to do the show.
Excited.
He couldn't wait to talk about this movie. Yeah. He went to see it with my brother, who, you guys went to see it in the theater.
That's why I'm here. That's why he made me come here, because I never laughed as hard in a movie theater until I laughed with David in that theater. We died.
He fell out of his chair.
We were crying. The whole audience was crying. We saw it like opening nights. We had no idea. We went seeing it because we liked Kingpin, loved Kingpin, but
we may do that one day. And I don't know if you remember. Well, obviously you remember, Shaun. It was just such an event. Like Something About Mary. It was such a revelation. You know what I mean? It was like you get to see this adult comedy, which they don't make comedies like that now. Obviously, some things. I mean, I think it's overstated how people are like, I don't know if it aged well, but it's not. It's not too. There's nothing that isn't. Yeah, there's nothing like obviously the Pat Healy character, but he's supposed to be an idiot,
right?
You know what I mean? Like he's supposed to be un-PC and not getting why everything he's saying is so wrong. But yeah, it was just such an event. I saw it in the movies also, and it was just so big at the time. It was really the Farrelly brothers' biggest hit, right? And then they were really allowed to do what they wanted, and it's great. It's still great. My kids still haven't seen it, but I was gonna watch with Grace, and then I'm like, she's like, oh, is that the movie with the hair sticking up? I'm like, yeah, maybe I won't watch it with Grace.
Yeah.
That's
maybe I'll wait to
watch
7 a little older.
Right, you watched 7. I mean, there's that. Is this one of the few movies that all of us have seen in the theater? Because I definitely saw it a few weeks later.
I mean, there's obviously we must have all seen Raiders of the Lost Ark.
Not me, not in the theater.
I did.
I mean, you were 8. What were you, like 8, Mikey?
I was 5 when that came out.
Okay,
how 81,
about
80?
Yeah, I was like,
had to be something.
I was 8 maybe.
I remember Shaun going to see Temple of Doom.
It had to be something.
Honestly, Chris, if I saw Raiders, it was at the old Merrimack Drive-In Theater in Methuen. We saw a bunch of those movies back then.
No kidding.
We saw Popeye there. I think. It seems like old times. Did we see
that
there? I saw
Popeye.
Well, seems like old times.
Yep. We may do that.
Great.
That would be a curveball. I love that movie. It's funny. Coincidentally, we liked Popeye when we were kids, which is a steaming pile of shit. And I think we saw that at the Salem Tri. I vividly remember watching that. But back to something about.
I'm going to go
There's
run
something
through.
About Mary.
That's the thing. I say something about. I drop theirs all the time when talking about it. Like casually, that's what it's known as. So I'm just going to go through the stats really quick because it was a massive hit from 1998. A lot of writers. The story by Ed Decker and John Strauss, with screenplay by Decker, Strauss, and the Farrelly brothers, and directed by Peter and Bobby Farrelly, starring Cameron Diaz, Matt Dillon, Ben Stiller. Those are the big three. Like Ben Stiller got third billing at that point, which really? I always thought of him as the star of the movie, but Cameron Diaz was like the bigger name at the moment. Also with Lee Evans, Chris Elliott, Lynn Shay. I just want to mention Jeffrey Tambor. I forgot all about him and his character and what happens. Marky Post,
Sully,
W. Earl Brown, and for the second movie in a row, the great Keith David.
Yes, we had a little.
And don't forget Richard Jenkins.
Oh, of course.
Yes.
Richard
Thank
Jenkins.
you. I have him written down as one of my favorite characters. I thought he was in more than the one scene.
That's right.
It's brilliant. It's brilliant. And I'm sorry, Mike. You finished?
No. I was just gonna, I haven't gone through everything yet, but
finish
no,
the numbers.
Oh, so it has a surprisingly
in the Oscar talk.
low Rotten Tomato score. For what I was expecting, 84%.
Comedies.
but the audience score is only 61%. That is even more surprising. And maybe it's the newer generation actually writing
Yeah, it might
Rotten
be.
Tomatoes. Has a Metacritic score of 69, a cinema score of B+. It is not on the AFI's greatest American films of all time, but on a budget of $23 million. It had a U.S. box
300
office
million, maybe,
of 176 U.S., 193 worldwide, a total global $369 million. Humongous movie on just a tiny budget. So at that point, the Farrelly brothers could do really whatever they want. And was it Stuck on You?
Where did they follow up?
Was it Stuck on You?
Me, Myself, and Irene?
Oh, Me, Myself,
I honestly
Irene.
don't.
Or was it Shallow Hal?
Oh my God.
Was that next?
I saw that in the theater too.
That's kind of hilarious.
That was I like that.
We do have to do Kingpin, by the way.
I would do Kingpin in a second. Shallow Hal is the one that I think they couldn't do now. I feel like they get a lot
that
of
probably
blowback
has
on
some stuff. Yeah, that and maybe Me, Myself, and Irene, legitimately hilarious stuff. But actually, maybe they could do that. Go ahead.
I legit haven't seen this movie all the way through in years. I watched it, really like started at like 6 o'clock, finished it just a few minutes before we were, on. And one thing, I texted you guys, the first 20 minutes are so perfect. That whole flashback's just perfect. I didn't remember the claymation at all. I'm like, wait a minute, am I watching like a special edition? I didn't remember that at all.
Did you watch the director's cut? I didn't
maybe
see
I did.
Claymation. I heard
it started with this claymation.
Yeah, no, that's not in the regular version.
Okay, well,
I was gonna say I've not seen that.
Okay,
with the guys, the singers, right?
It went into the singers. After
those
that
guys.
In the tree. Okay. So I was wondering about that because
hopefully it's the same. Otherwise,
let's just say whatever I watched, it wasn't available free to stream. I'll just put it that way.
Yeah. Where did
I didn't rent it?
I must have. It is available free to stream on.
It wasn't.
No, it's right now. It is. I watched it today. With commercials.
Oh, maybe it was on. Even with
it's Freeform was it's.
I saw Freeform
edited.
That's what I was afraid of. Yeah.
He can't even say those goofy bastards.
Oh.
Are just about the best thing going for me. But there was something else that I was able to watch it. But,
Stars, FX. Damn, it was on FX. I could have watched on that.
Yeah. So that's where I saw it. But so you said the audience was like 60 something?
61, which is
like
I would have thought the audience would have gone way up.
Yeah, but I mean I could say, like you said, the newer people, newer people might not get it. Like it was just
like they weren't making fun of special needs people.
Seen.
It was just
what I mean?
Right.
But so looking back, I still love it, but it's not. I wouldn't say it's like one of the best comedies, like Anchorman and what else? Is that over? Manchester by no comedies. Yeah, Goonies is funny.
I try.
Wait, we had an agreement. We had an agreement that you would never mention that again. And now your brother's got a tag team. But anyways, the movie's hilarious, but I just don't think it's as good as a handful of other comedies in the 21st century. I don't know if you guys agree.
There are classic moments where I think it's as good as anything, and then there are things
just
where it's
the whole Pat Healy stuff.
Yeah,
right.
But then the stuff I'm like, oh, that's silly. Like the whole like wrestling the dog. I mean, it's funny, but it's like definitely like campy, like doing
it's not like
crossing, trying to poke his eyes out and stuff. Still funny.
So this is probably the first Ben Stiller doing the same thing he does in several movies. Like Meet the Parents and he does the Ben Stiller-ish thing. So and I think he's great in this, but I was wondering if like could we think of somebody who might have been better? What I mean? I mean, he just plays the schlub, but I couldn't think of anybody. But
I was excited that the rest of the world was catching up with Ben Stiller because I already loved him from the Ben Stiller show on MTV, from the Ben Stiller show on Fox. I was already like, this guy is awesome.
He does the great, just he's everybody's,
I think he already
whipping
directed
boy
Cable Guy by this point.
He's everybody's whipping boy.
He plays two type of characters. The whipping boy.
What do you need? A designated driver? Or when Mary's asking to the prom, he says, you're going with a bunch of people. You need a designated driver. Good stuff. But so Cameron Diaz is really
she just lights up.
Perfect. She's just fantastic in it. And you need someone that good because of the whole concept. I'll go through the plot, which is going to take me like probably under 20 seconds.
It's not
the
complicated.
title actually says that the title actually
is the plot.
Says the plot.
There's just something
there
about
really
her.
is something about Mary. She's just so
perfect,
likable and funny. And Shaun, what would Dave say?
She's so hot.
David Hot Alert. Repeat. This is a David Hot Alert. This is not a test.
Now, I'm not going to switch it to Shaun Hot Alert. We'll just that is Shaun basically channeling Dave, because right now Dave's in a meeting thinking about Cameron Diaz. Well, he's supposed to be. He's in front of a board and it says, boxes fall on 12 children, kill them. What does this cost us?
Well, so let's talk about Chris Elliott, right?
Oh.
So obviously Cameron Diaz is great. Ben Stiller is great as like the doofus. But as far as supporting characters, Chris Elliott in his Letterman heyday, you guys watch Letterman all the time?
Saw all Chris Elliott stuff.
I see some of his
when he did his character. He just the shtick he does is great. So just to have him in this movie,
It must be wonderful having all this, huh?
Each day's better than the next.
fantastic.
My dog is, of course, at the door right now. Keep talking. I'll be back.
Of course. So it's funny. My buddy and I always, speaking of Richard Jenkins, my buddy Paul, always, we always just quote the when Ben Stiller when Ted mentions rest areas.
Oh yeah.
Rest areas are homosexual hangouts. Highway rest areas. They're the bathhouses of the 90s for many, 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 many gay men.
His role is just perfect, and he comes in. He's not even in the same room. It's great. Just shows how everybody shits on poor Ted.
He delivers it so well.
He does, and he's not even paying attention until he hears rest areas. So such good stuff. The beginning, like your brother said, first 20 minutes is great. Seeing Goofy Ted with his braces,
and Warren running around.
Right. We'll get to favorite scenes.
It gets me that Warren, when a couple of years later when I'm watching Deadwood, that Dan
absolutely.
Doherty.
I was going to bring that
Warren.
up. Isn't that wild?
That always freaked me out. I'm like, that's amazing.
It's wild. I don't know if your brother has. Your brother didn't watch Deadwood, did he?
I don't think he has yet.
That show is so good.
It's one of those shows you almost have to pay attention.
Yeah, because this is true. Or it's a grown-up show, not a lot of those. The guy that I think it's Lee Evans, the guy that plays. I wasn't aware that he was like a comedian and kind of big.
Yeah.
He plays the guy, the pizza boy, pizza boy, Norm.
Norm
acting as a
Tucker. Excuse me, it's Tucker.
Tucker. Yes, that's great. That whole sequence is great.
That whole stick is the best.
It is. Let's see.
I'm back.
He's back. We got a bleeder. But yes, we were talking about how great the first 20 minutes was.
Oh, yeah.
And
the subtle there's one moment where when he opens the door and sees Keith David and Ben Stiller just leans back to like, am I at the right house? That is one of my favorite.
Oh yeah,
little
Keith David's great. Marky Post is hilarious. How about when he says, "What did you shoot yourself?" And you hear a pause, and then he's like, "I wish."
I laughed out loud when he said that. Then he takes
the
readers out. He takes the glasses out.
I didn't. Yes, he. So who was the comedian? We had Lenny Clark, obviously.
Steve Sweeney was the other guy.
Steve Sweeney, yeah.
What the hell's going on here? Neighbors said they heard a lady scream.
Well, you're looking at him. You gotta take a look at this thing.
Oh, Jesus.
Ain't it a beaut?
What the hell were you thinking?
How the hell did you get the zipper all the way to the top? Well, let's just say the kid's limp.
I used to watch him. I swear he's funnier than Lenny Clark. He used to be in what's the Chinese restaurant in?
He's at China Blossom all the time. In
Okay,
North
yeah,
Andover. Oh yeah,
I've seen him. He's still there. That's
I think
he's
I
so
think he's
funny.
a Joe Fish,
What the
right? Yeah,
fuck?
too.
Oh, is that
Those
place still
reactions
open?
were great.
So I saw him a few months ago. He was playing with Lenny Clark and Saugus, and he's offensive now.
Oh yeah, nice.
He's got a little MAGA to him, Chris, but more
that's
just
not
to
shocking.
torment
That's
the
not
other
shocking.
people. But he was hilarious still.
Oh, he's great. Mikey, we were talking about my favorite, the Richard Jenkins bathhouses, rest areas of the bathhouses
I
in the
thought
90s
he
from
was going
many,
to.
many gay men.
I thought he was going to be at the bathhouse. I thought the joke was
Oh, yeah,
he
then-
stumbled over him. Did you guys mention Shaun's run-in with Harlan?
My brush? No, I didn't miss my brush with greatness. So
what?
We were joking around. We were out one night at what is now known as the Clatter, what was then known as the Fireside.
Oh yes.
And we were maybe had 10 or 11 beers. My buddy, Lance.
Yep.
And had a bunch of beers, and we looked over, and there's a guy sitting at the table that just looked like Harlan Williams. We were joking and laughing.
He seems very distinctive.
And we started like just drunkenly screaming 6-7 minute abs.
You heard of this thing, the 8-minute abs?
Yeah, sure, 8-minute abs. Yeah, the exercise video.
Yeah, well, this is gonna blow that right out of the water. Listen to this. 7-minute abs.
And he was getting annoyed, and this was whatever, and they ended up leaving. And we were like, that's the guy. And we joked. We didn't think anything of it till the next day. I drove by. I remember that the Chateau was Grill 93 at the time, the comedy club. Yeah. Big sign said Harlan Williams from Something About Mary's play.
That's awesome.
That is great. So was that was that soon after, like the next
It was
year?
it was like midnight that night. So he probably came from that show, was at the bar, and he's got two morons screaming 7-minute abs at him.
He's made it.
Just think, he's coming off of Dumb and Dumber and
that. Oh yeah.
You know, he's in both of those movies. That's hilarious. He was hilarious as his little role as the serial killer.
That was the one guy that I remember, the British guy. I don't know if you talked about him. The guy who actually was British then pretended. Like I felt like he's
a famous comedian.
He was
today.
Kind of a bigger name, I think, in England, but I always thought he was going to be something. He never really. He was like in some movie called Mouse Hunt or something. And
I didn't see him in much. I don't remember seeing him in much, but he was great as as Norm. So, you know what? Let me go over it's certainly not going to be a 7-minute plot. Like we said, it's all in the title. There is something about Mary. So Ted Stroman has a crush on Mary Jensen, and after a failed prom date, that's how I phrased that.
Well, how the hell did you get the beans above the fry? I mean, I don't know.
With her, pursues her years later and finds many of the men who meet her also fall in love with her. Including Pat Healy, who he hires as a private detective. Which that scene when he's talking about her is one of my favorite scenes. I'll get into that. And Brett Favre, of course, the
biggest creep of them all, the real life biggest creep.
Yeah, exactly. Or her high school boyfriend, Woogie. She ends up with Ted probably because Warren likes him. That's basically the bottom line. I was wondering, like, she's looking for a guy who's owns his own business, can travel at the drop of a hat. It doesn't seem like Ted is really be her type.
They made one line. He's going to write a book. He said, "You need to write that book so you can stop, working for the ad."
Oh, right. She said you can. Right. She said you can work anywhere. Yeah.
But when at the end, he
gets along
touches
so well with Warren.
But he finally he touches his ear, and Warren doesn't freak out. And that's the big.
That part kills me when he's the little montage when he's. When they're getting the costumes and just seeing Ted, he's a riot.
Oh, yes.
So the scene when Healy gives first we get Healy spying on Mary with the binoculars, and he sees Magda topless.
Yes.
And he
He's
says,
like,
first chink in the armor.
He thought it was
that
her.
line.
He really
that
thought
line
it was
is
her, yeah.
hilarious.
He
So
was
then when
so
he gives
perfect.
the report, he's probably my
I
favorite part of the
didn't.
movie.
I
Like,
never thought of Matt Dillon as funny,
Never.
like a comedic,
Right.
and he was so. That's what made it even better. It's like
it always kills me the clip of when she's like, I have a vibrator, and he does that. So when he starts lying to Ted, telling him about her, and he says, she's about a deuce and a half.
Was Mary a little big bone back in high school?
Big bone? No, not at all. No.
I guess she packed on a few pounds over the years.
Oh yeah, so she's a little chubby.
Oh, I'd say about a deuce and a half. Not bad.
Oh, my, a deuce and a half. Huh?
You know, you shit out a bunch of kids, and you're bound to put on a few pounds.
Oh, so she's married?
No, she's never been. That's the good news.
Huh?
Yeah. 4 kids, 3 different guys, but no rock. Hyperactive little fuckers, too. Tough to keep up with in a wheelchair, I bet.
Oh, she's in a wheelchair? Mary's in a wheelchair?
I thought that was part of your kick.
And then, you shit out that many kids, you bound to wait.
Yeah. But
gain a
that's
few
the good
pounds.
thing. Yeah. 3 different dads. No ring.
Yes. It's so great. And he's like, oh, what's she, a little chubby? That's before he said, oh, she's about a deuce and a half. And then, of course, Pat Healy, when he's trying to impress Mary, telling him about, his job,
that's
his hobby.
Really? What's that?
I work with retards.
Isn't that a little politically, incorrect?
Oh, the hell with that. No one's gonna tell me who I can and can't work with, right?
No, I mean...
We got this one kid, Mongo. He's got a forehead like a drive-in movie theater, but he's a good shit, so we don't bust his chops too much. So one day, Mongo gets out of his cage.
What,
and...
they keep him in a cage?
Well, it's just an enclosure.
No, but they keep him confined.
Right, yeah.
That's bullshit.
Well, that's what I said. So I went out and I got him a leash.
A leash?
Yeah, one of those ones you can hook onto the clothesline, and he can run back and forth, and there's plenty of room for him to dig and play. That kid is really, he's really blossomed, Now I can take him to movies, baseball games, fun stuff. Yeah.
Sounds cool.
Oh, yeah, it's cool for them, but for me, it's much more than that. For me, it's heaven, Those goofy bastards are just about the best thing I've got going in this crazy world.
These goofy bastards. And then, we have a kid, Mongol. We let him out of the cage. He,
Okay, we bought him a leash.
He does a lot of digging. Yeah, that's great.
But
It's great.
Yeah. Oh, just that is like his sincerity, or trying to be so sincere. He's like, the best thing I got going in this crazy world. Class.
That with the big white caps in his teeth.
The big choppers. Yep. Mary's like, what the fuck is up with this guy? What other lines kill me? The Woogie, but it's iconic when he gives the obvious iconic scene before he does before he produces the hair gel.
Breath. How's your breath?
It's fine. I had some Altoids.
All right. Well, I think you're all set. So just go clean the pipes and it's a go.
Huh?
Clean the pipes.
What do you mean clean the pipes?
You choke the chicken before any big date, don't you? Tell me you spank the monkey before any big date. Oh my God, he doesn't flog the dolphin before a big date. No. Are you crazy? That's like going out there with a loaded gun. Of course that's why you're nervous. Oh, my dear friend, please sit, please. Look, after you've had sex with a girl and you're lying in bed with her, are you nervous?
No.
No, you're not. Why?
God, because I'm tired.
Wrong. It's because you ain't got the baby batter in the brain anymore. Jesus, that stuff will fuck your head up. Oh, look, The most honest moment in a man's life are the few minutes after he's blown his load. Now that is a medical fact. And the reason for it is that you're no longer trying to get laid. You're thinking like a girl. And girls love that.
Holy shit. I've been going out with a loaded gun.
People get hurt that way.
He gives him the speech, and then he's like, because you ain't got the baby batter on the brain. I always think of that disturbing line. Extremely disturbing line.
I noticed he's avoiding Mary, and I realized, okay, now he knows she never does see him until the end.
Yeah.
But I'm like, what did he look like in high school or college?
Well, he was going to be a model. He was going to Europe.
He was going to be.
That guy's hilarious too. The guy, his friend there, who's the doctor, who was talking about him.
Oh, the late, I can't think of his name, but he's no longer with us.
Yeah, he's been in a lot. No,
he was in Sex and the City and White Collar. And
oh, I know what you're talking about.
I know he definitely
the balding
Willie Garrison.
Yes,
Willie Garrison.
Willie Garrison.
Like
Yeah,
that.
He was great on White Collar. I never saw him on Sex and the City, but
well, I wouldn't think you would have.
You never know.
But yeah, he's great when Ted's like, oh, it changed how my friends looked at me.
You're a fucking liar.
Yeah.
They cut to the next scene. So good.
And I like, for some reason, he has a giant zit on his chin, and then later has a giant, like, just on his face, no reason.
Yes.
And I like when the Farrelly brothers put, like, we mentioned Steve Sweeney and Lenny Clark, but the guy in the wheelchair obviously had to be like a friend of theirs too, like another guy with the wicked, like, Boston, Rhode Island accent when he was.
Oh, when he moved him.
When he moved in.
Hey, dipshit, be careful with that thing, will ya?
All-time comedy. What do you have any other lines?
I mean, it's. I always say.
Are you yelling at me? No. Are you yelling at me in my own house? No.
It's not even a funny line. It's just the way Keith David says it.
Sometimes you just a line stays with you forever. You know what I mean? It's funny. He's a riot in that. I'm just fucking with you, Ted.
Yeah.
Oh, does she say that?
Oh, she's a dental hygienist. She'll know what to do. She's the mother.
Yeah.
She's a dental hygienist.
Yeah, and she's So I guess they were like, oh, are we gonna show this? You know,
they showed it just
prosthetic
enough.
And whatever. Oh, it's perfect when the way they're describing it and everything too. Have you guys ever zipped yourself? Not like that, because I think that might be literally impossible. But just a little.
Myself, but
yes.
Yeah.
To quote Keith David, I've never gotten the twig above the berries, or the berries above the twig, however that went.
The Frank above the beans.
It is a perfectly edited scene where it's like, it's going to be
he was
simple.
Masturbating.
It was going to be 1
and 2 and
we got a bleeder.
Yeah,
the whole town is watching.
So I showed my kids that. I showed my kids just that scene. They still haven't watched it.
And then they drop him before he gets in the ambulance.
Yes,
I forgot about that.
And
That's
he's
right.
like, gives the thumbs up. Oh,
so great.
And I just like that he's trying to be the bigger man at the end, but he leaves and he's just bawling. And for some reason, the old guy loves Mary too and shoots the musician.
It just stresses the that's there's just something about Mary.
Something about her. And then the classic ending credits with the music.
Why do you fill me up, buttercup, baby, just to let me down, and mess me around, and then worst of all.
I always was like, oh, they had so much fun making this movie.
I like the little, the singer and the
that's
what's
just
the other guy playing the
quirky
drums. Just the quirky Farrelly Brothers thing. But it was this the only movie that did that?
I think so.
Actually had the guys in it.
Yeah. I was like, wait, it's like Old School, but that's completely different. That was just the wedding band.
The the Old School, yeah. Dan's band. That's great stuff. Shaun, you're awake this whole podcast.
Yep.
I made it, I guess.
That's already a step up.
The kids haven't walked in.
I'm
that's
trying.
Another step up.
The kids haven't walked in.
You're not doing You're not doing
the wife
in
came,
the middle of your family.
Popped her head in. Yeah. The wife basically popped her head in. Yeah.
You haven't. Yep. You're not on gummies. You're not in the tub. You're not at a restaurant. You're not at the airport.
Wow, you really do some editing magic then.
Oh my
with
God.
Him?
Yes.
Absolutely. And so I'm not to get ahead. I don't know if we're done with Mary, which again Dave wanted to do and wanted
Oh, he invited me.
Shaun. His buddy Shaun. But I'm whatever it took to finally get you on, Shaun.
Well,
now we have to do Rocky, or not Rocky, either Rocky 5 or some other sequel to get Paul on.
Yeah, Paul on. Well,
Rocky 5.
The classic is what Shaun, when we said, "Do you want to? We're doing Rocky.
This is
do you want
why.
to come on?" And Paul said, "Which one?"
So
And
Dave was
like,
so disgusted.
I think I was on that text chain. I think I saw that.
I'm sure you were. Yep. So, you know,
you were on that text chain. The text chain you from hell, where you can't get off that text chain.
we last week we talked about if we're done here, I'm gonna segue.
Yep. Such a stretch for comedies.
Killer segue. Yeah, last week we did a hilarious Nice Guys. I mean, just a perfect movie. Followed up by a comedic classic, Something About Mary. And next time, the hilarity continues.
Side splitting.
As we are watching a movie, I'm seeing it for the first time from 2016, the Casey Affleck comedy classic, Manchester by the Sea. I've never seen this. I just know it's supposed to be somewhat heart-wrenching or depressing. I don't even know what it's about. Maybe something about adoption. I think that's all I know.
What's good is
I'm not sure.
What's good is if you watch the trailer, which I never suggest you watch the trailer. It still wouldn't even ruin it, but don't watch the trailer anyways.
No, I definitely. I might have.
You probably have seen it. So I'm gonna describe it. It's if Dave was here, he would agree with me. It's like $1 Million Baby if it was in Boston and it was good.
Oh no.
So
who gets snuffed by a pillow? I mean,
no, not that. I mean, just there may be a little sadness to it.
I'm all for sadness.
And with better acting. It's somehow Dave and I are the only people, definitely the only people I know that have seen it multiple times.
All right.
Multiple times. It's so good.
There's only a few movies
I
I've
really
watched
am excited.
multiple times.
I really am excited.
We
know one of them, Mike.
Yes, because I've got to. I guess what I'm doing right after this.
Yep.
But
so
that's next time. Until then, you can find us on Blue Sky at Fine Movies, on Instagram at Fine Movies, Fine Spirits, on the YouTube channel, Fans Not Experts, and of course, fansnotexperts.com. David, are there any parting words from you?
No.
Christopher, any thoughts or anything, any parting words from you?
Nope, nothing. Happy belated St. Patrick's Day. Look forward to the next week. Very excited to have Shaun on finally.
Popped his cherry.
Thanks for having me.
This is your first ever podcast, right?
This is it. Yeah, I'm expecting when do the royalties start rolling in.
Now the windfall. Now he's got the taste.
Right.
We gave him a little taste.
This will be out mid-May.
Yeah. Nice Guys is almost ready. It's almost ready to be ready. I'll put it that way. This weekend, Nice Guys for sure.
This one's in the can, as we say in the biz.
Well, thank you,
after
Shaun,
tonight,
for joining us. It's nice to have, three pros here, three guys who care, three guys who at least three guys who know what time zone they're in.
Three guys who stay awake. Yes. That's a plus.
There we go.
That is a classic.
We talk about great movies while drinking. We talk about great movies while drinking. Yeah, we talk about great movies while drinking. And we feel fine.
Hit record and wait for Dickhead.
Is he really doing it?
I mean, he claims he's doing it, right?
Do
we need to contact him? Because he's like, oh, he did say Shaun can fill in for me.
That's big shoes to fill. So I did a lot of research just like that, Absolutely zero.
All right, I just texted him.
I did bring my beverage though, so there you go.
I'm going to call him.
Your call has been forwarded to voicemail. The person you're trying to reach is not available. At the tone, please record your message. When you have finished recording, you may hang up.
Dickhead Jones, are you joining the podcast? It doesn't sound like it. He texted me separately. I don't know why he didn't want it. What's up? I just wrote podcast.
What's up?
What's up?
And I don't know this behind the scenes stuff and how the secret sauce is made. It's
it's how it's
big
always.
stuff. Really.
It's like,
this is a pre-production meeting.
I'm going to be my best to get on by 7:45. It's 7. It's
maybe he doesn't account for the time change in his head.
It's 7:50, dickhead.
Is he still in Vegas?
It's 4 o'clock, 5 o'clock where he is.
He doesn't know what time it is. Are you in the? Is your brain in the wrong time zone? Fuck him. Actually, that's I want this to
This
stay
is
on
great.
the podcast.
Yes, just start and then.
Oh shit! I'm not going to be able to get on. No shit, dummy.
It'd be great if you did it from the plane.
I'm 3 hours behind and still in meetings.
What?
you fucking forgot. You
thought you were doing a 10:45 tonight.
That it's
wait. What the fuck? This is all right. We'll talk about Dave on this. Start her up.
Fans not experts.